I'm here today at the Divecha Center for Climate Change at the Indian Institute of Science. The Divecha Center is hosting the third National Conference on Climate Change, which is a very unique and important effort to try and bring together and develop a community of researchers and scholars who will generate the knowledge base that we need to be able to deal with it. The climate change research community in India is fragmented, it's dispersed, and so this represents a very good effort to try and bring this community together, increase its visibility and make it more viable. In this regard, adaptation poses some unique challenges. It requires interdisciplinarity. We have to have economists working together with civil engineers, working together with climate scientists and meteorologists to understand what will happen with climate change, what the effects will be, and how do we design policy. There are many knowledge gaps. Our understanding of the future is imperfect. In fact, it will never be perfect. So how do we make decisions in an imperfect world like this? At the same time, we have to improve our projections of future climate change. That's a big knowledge gap. We have to be able to understand what vulnerability is. Unless we know how we are vulnerable, we can't decide how to reduce that vulnerability. Who is vulnerable? How are they vulnerable? How are individuals, farmers, households, cities vulnerable to climate change? That requires the assessment of vulnerability. How do we respond? How do we design policies? How do we evaluate them? How expensive they are? How do we do cost-benefit analysis? That requires us to understand the economics of adaptation. So this is a very fertile area and one where I hope that we will have a lot more researchers from India coming together to work on and contribute to the knowledge base and contribute to the effort in becoming more resilient for the future. Broadly speaking, there are two kinds of responses. There is mitigation, which means we might try and avoid climate change from happening. But I think it's becoming increasingly clear that despite what we might do, our best effort, we will still be faced with a very substantial amount of climate change. For the last several years, we have been talking about a 2-degree target to limit climate change to 2 degrees. But I think it is becoming very clear that this target is going to be crossed soon. And if it is crossed, then countries like India are going to be faced with very significant amount of changes in climate. And so what becomes really important for us is not just how to avoid climate change, but what to do if it does happen. And it will happen. It is already happening. And that is what adaptation is all about. How do we adapt to the climate risks that we face today and to the risks we will face in the future. A few years ago in Mumbai, we had a 900 plus millimeters, a meter of rainfall in a day, July 2005. That was considered a historic flood. We had never seen that kind of rainfall before. Scientists talk about that as a 1 in 200 year event, an event that will happen just once in centuries. But an event like that might become more frequent with climate change. So 20 years from now, we might face the July 2005 floods again, and then it will become a once in 50 year event, not a once in 200 year event. So how do we deal with these kinds of changes? How do we deal with the fact that in areas that are already stressed because of drought and rainfall patterns might change, might become more intense? How do we deal with the fact that places where we have deaths because of heat waves and cold waves during the summer and winter, they might become more severe? And to do all of that, we need to understand first and foremost what the risk is. What is it exactly that might happen? We have to look at projections of future climate change. We have to then figure out, do these projections mean a change in what we do today? Let me give you another example. We built in Mumbai, if you look at the skyline of Mumbai, that underwent a big change when we built the Bandra-Worli Sea Link, a bridge through the sea. Now, a bridge like that might be at risk because if climate change happens, and when climate change happens, and sea level rise takes place, that might have an effect on the life of the bridge. So have we taken such risks into account? So one of the first things we have to do when we think of adaptation is, are we in our existing day-to-day activities, are we taking on board the possibility that climate change might happen, that it might worsen, and what it might lead to? So that's the first step. So if you look at what does adaptation then consist of? It consists of policies. So we might say, just as we make environmental impact assessments mandatory for all large projects, we might say, well, any water project has to consider what will happen to it because of future climate change. An infrastructure project, we might say, has to consider what will happen to it because of sea level rise. A hydroelectricity project, we might say, well, what will happen if the river runoff, the stream flow changes? Will we still be able to generate as much electricity as we had planned for? So this is what we call mainstreaming, that the decisions we are already taking today, whether these are water resource decisions, development planning decisions, these decisions need to consider the risk of future climate change. So this is mainstreaming. It also involves new technologies. So we might say, well, because of climate change, we might have to develop more drought-resistant varieties more urgently, and that requires research and development. That's technology. So there's a whole set of different responses that we have to consider when it comes to adaptation. The final point, which I think is really something which might get lost at times, is that adaptation is not something for the future. It is required now. It is required quite urgently, because this is not a problem of 2050. It is becoming clear that if we don't meet our mitigation targets, if the 2-degree climate target is not met, and I think every indication is that this target will not be met, then climate change is upon us, is virtually at our doorsteps in the next decades. So this is something that will require immediate action, consciousness at all levels, in cities, in municipalities, at the national government, in states, of how do we cope with climate risk of today and the climate risk of the future.